Look at that. Those big claws. What? Look at that. Wonder if we could get any fishing done with this bad boy. Today we are going to see just how many different kinds of fish we can gather up. We're gonna start with clamming, then we're gonna move on and try some crabbing, and after that we're gonna try some regular fishing. That is so cool, look at this. Just right here washed up on the beach. Giant pieces of bull kelp. That is freaking awesome. You can make pickles with it, which I'm quite fond of. One of the really cool things about clamming at Fort Flagler is the sheer variety of clams that they have here. There's anything from manila clams to native littleneck clams. There's even eastern softshell clams. There's horse clams, butter clams. There's even gooey ducks, if the tide is low enough, available here. What a beautiful beach. So much color and vibrance and life. Another really cool thing about this place is Fort Flagler is actually an old military fort that was built in the late 1800s and was actually in service right through World War II. We'll definitely be taking a peek at some of those old military fortifications in between our fishing spots. It should be awesome to explore. I see something squirting right here. I see a clam right near the surface or something. Yep. That's something big. Super rocky. I have to know what that was. What was squirting at me? Uh-huh. There we go. Nice big butter clam. Take another scoop, see if there's anything else in there. Something's squirting at me, yep. There's another one, and another one. Oh my goodness. This is an absolute treasure trove of butter clams. Look at these giant clams. I might have a new favorite place. Look at that. That's massive. An intense dig with all these rocks. There we go, getting the more butter clams. A couple more here. Oh God, no. It's an empty shell. I might actually poop myself if that was a live one. So it might be for the best that it's not. A little deeper. They seem to be sitting at about 8 inches to like 12 inches under the surface here. There's another one. Ooh, and it's a big one. Oh, and how about that? We've got a little neck clam to go with them. Another one in the wall here. What is that? Is that a little anemone? I gotta thoroughly inspect my pile here. That's not a live one. That is. That is absolutely amazing. 12, a round dozen butter clams already. And one little neck. Time to bucket these guys up. I've never caught clams even close to this size. That is absolutely amazing. Want to make sure that you leave the beach the way you found it. Let's go find another spot, dig another hole, and see what we can find in that one, because that was amazing for our first hole. All right, let's just pick a spot here and have a go. Ooh, that's exciting.
Ew.
That's a horse clam shell. Whew, very stinky, decaying dead horse clam in there.
Woo.
Oh, that's wild. That's little by horse clam standards, but it's pretty big. All right, I'm not giving up on this hole yet then. Horse clams are generally 1 to 2 feet down, I think. There we go. That's a nice big native little neck clam, I believe. Biggest one I've ever found. Huh. Interesting color on the shell there. Well, that was encouraging. All right. Just got a big squirt from right here.
Ooh.
Ha! And looky what we got. Another horse clam. That's incredible. This is the most exciting day of clamming I've ever had in my life. And we have so much more to do. All right, there we go. All right, this is amazing. So from that hole, we got 2 horse clams. I definitely saw another horse clam squirting at me from this big hole right here. Not an easy dig. He's trying to dig away from me big time. He's right down here though. Yep, he ain't going anywhere. I can feel his shell. Whew, that was harrowing. Right now we're almost 3 hours after the low tide. Granted, it was a very low tide, a minus 2.5 feet. But I did not expect to have a chance at catching horse clams here today. We'll definitely be coming back here in the future for more clams. We'll camp, spend some extra time here, do it all over again. Catch as many clams, crabs, and fish as we possibly can. That was a lot of work for just one clam, but at least it's a big one. I am absolutely hooked on Fort Flagler right now. This is amazing. I just want to walk until we see another squirt. Go for him. This is a rocky spot, but I'm going, what? Are you kidding me? Do you guys see that? I come right out of here? Okay, I'm gonna remember that spot next and keep an eye on potential squirt action there. That was insane. There's a live butter clam. Where I got squirt at from here. I see there's one right there and one right here. I'm completely obsessed right now. I'm pulling giant clams I've only ever dreamed of out of the ground. And I just want more. I found the horse clam jackpot. Look at this. 1, 2, mwahaha. 3, mwahaha. The horse clam limit is 7, and that is separate from your regular clam limit. So you can still get 40 clams or 10 pounds of regular clams and 7 horse clams in addition to that. You just gotta make sure you keep the first 7 that you dig. Even if you break them, you gotta keep them. And we're now up to 6 horse clams. And that is wild. I cannot believe I found 3 in this hole. All right, let's fill in holes. Filling in the holes.
I'm glad you're having such a good time.
I am having an amazing time. You want to come at them from kind of the side and then try to get under them or expand your hole out toward them so that you're not digging straight into them and breaking their shells. All right, this guy's trying to go deep on me, but I don't think he can go much deeper than he's already at. Got him. Oh, this is the biggest one. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got him and I didn't even break the shell. Look at that. That shell is the size, almost the size of a Keeper Dungeness crab shell. That is pushing 6 inches across. Might even be 6 inches. Well, that's one person's limit of horse clams now. Look at this. Look how huge he is compared to the others. That is my trophy clam. Save his shell and mount him on the wall. It's my wife's birthday today. Thankfully, she likes to fish as much as I do, so this is what she wanted to do on her birthday. I am a very, very lucky man, I tell you. Maybe I should make her a pretty display out of all these clam shells we're getting. What do you guys think? Clamshell wind chime? Does that even work? Ooh, this butter clam. I think I might have set that aside before and forgot to pick them up. That's a nice live butter clam. So if you're new or you just don't know yet, my wife is actually the genius behind my videos. She films them, she edits them, she helps me plan them. If it wasn't for my wife, there would be no videos coming at you. So if you'd like to wish her a happy birthday, please do so in the comments below. She'd really love that.
Oh.
Ooh.
You got a live cockle?
Yes. No freaking way. Cockles weren't even listed on the website, on the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife website. I was wondering because I saw some shells. I've never caught a cockle before either. This place is amazing. That's heavy. This might be the first time we ever hit 10 pounds before we hit 40 clams. There's 3 big horse clams right here. 3 very clear holes. So I saw this one, and then I saw this one. I started moving stuff around to start digging, and then this guy popped up and squirted me straight in the chest. There we go. Got one. Oh, I feel another one right there. That is amazing. There we go. There's our 3 horse clams from that hole. There's a little baby crab. Where'd you come from? Gotta be a baby red rock. I'm not even afraid of his claws. You can go ahead and pinch me. Oh, he's trying. Ooh, that actually almost hurt. All right, here, you don't be in the hole that I gotta fill. I don't wanna crush you. Throw our last big guy in the bucket. Come take a look at our haul so far. This bucket is over halfway full already. I've never filled it up this much with clams. Whew. I cannot believe how clammy this beach is. This is absolutely amazing. It is so beautiful. I like Seagull Island here. Just across the channel here, right here, that's actually Rat Island. And that is actually closed to the public for part of the year as a nature preserve. Pretty cool. Oh, that's heavy. Wow. Whoa, those horse clams are heavy. I was not expecting that. Whew. All right. Now we got our fill of butter clams and horse clams. Let's move farther up the beach, see if we can't find some different clams. All right, my wife wants to check this rock for mussels. That's not a rock. It's definitely got barnacles. That's the Mount Rainier of barnacles right there. No mussels, but definitely worth checking out. I wonder what this is, because it's not a rock. That's really cool. What? It's like walking on a minefield. Whew. I'm not seeing a whole lot of signs of manila clams in our exploration here so far. Might just not be in the right spot. It is a pretty big beach, but we've got a lot of other fishing to do. I might dig a hole here and just see what we can find. Nah, that spot's not good. Too sandy over here. Here? Right in this area? Mm-hmm. All right, let's try it. Still pretty sandy here. Ooh, that's a live cockle. Second cockle I've ever caught. Maybe I was just lucky with that first scoop. Oh no, there we go. Got another little neck clam. Ooh, I found another one. That's the biggest native little neck clam I have found. Not like incredibly plentiful, but they are here. And they're big. Boom. Another big one. Nope. Pretty rock. Oh. Another butter clam. Look at this. We have 4 different clam species from this one spot, this one hole. Another butter clam. Gonna fill this hole in. All right, that's it. We have a lot of clams. I'm not even sure how many we have, but it's at least between the horse clams and the butter clams and the little neck clams, everything we got, and cockles. We have so many clams. That's gonna be enough, especially with the crabs we're hoping to get and fish that we're gonna be trying for today. So we're gonna head on out and go on to our next activity. This has been amazing. I'm still blown away by how good the clamming is here. I cannot wait to come back someday and do more. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the cool things about this park is that it used to be a military fortification. And here's one of its premier gun batteries, Battery Wansboro. This one's nice because you can just drive right up to it to check it out. And it's actually got old guns mounted at it. Later in the video, we'll also cruise by some of the bunkers and check those out too. This right here is a 3-inch artillery cannon. It's not one of the guns that was actually originally mounted here, but the park later bought it to put it on display. I believe it was from a base called Fort Wint in the Philippines that they bought this gun from. Wonder if we could get any fishing done with this bad boy. You guys got any shells? The whole fort here is just situated on top of this high bluff at the northern point of Marrowstone Island. Another cool fun fact is that Fort Flagler here is actually a part of a triangle of fire of old military forts that protected the entrance to the Admiralty Inlet. And the other 2 forts are Fort Worden, which is situated just north of Port Townsend, I believe. And the other one is Fort Casey, which is actually protected the Whidbey Island side of the inlet. That's the beach we're gonna go down and fish for some salmon from after we do a little bit more exploring here. I expect we'll get skunked on salmon. All right, let's check out just a little bit more of the park before we get to trying some crabbing and fishing. Another cool part about Battery Wansboro here is they actually have some of the old artillery shells and powder canisters on display. Empty powder canisters. A lot of batteries here that you can just walk right into and explore the old tunnels. It's really cool. Super cool. That is just too cool to see. All right, now we're going on to try some crabbing. Just bringing 2 traps with me. I brought a couple of pieces of rebar that I can zip tie onto those traps to weight them if necessary, if the current's too strong here. Get ourselves set up here. I don't have any high hopes for success trying crabbing in this spot, but you never know. I don't know if the current's gonna be too strong for these light traps. It might be. I'm gonna keep a close eye on them when I first toss them out. And if they start drifting on me, I'll put some weight on them. Straight across the water there is Port Townsend, which would mean that hill to the right of it there, sticking up out of the water, would be where Fort Worden is. All right. And that by itself has some weight to it anyway, about 1 pound. So hopefully that'll help keep this thing in place. All right. I'll use this chicken in this trap. And then for my snare, my rubber band for my snare clip died. That's all right, I've got zip ties for that. Zip ties, a crabber's best friend. They can solve so many of your gear problems. That should be plenty to put in the snare. Actually, just this piece might be plenty. A piece of driftwood to tie the end of my casting traps to. I at least have a warning if something's taken off with them. Don't drift away on me, driftwood. I'm relying on you. What do you think, guys? Can I catch a crab like this? It is pretty rocky here. Am I gonna lose a trap? Stay tuned and find out. All right, now it's snare time. Got 3 ounces of weight on that in total. Hopefully that'll be enough. That's about as good as it's gonna get with that much weight. We'll just give those some time, see if they attract any crabs. All right, let's see if we got anything on this snare yet. Oh, at least I caught ourselves a little bit of salad. Ooh, what do we have? Ah!
A keeper.
That is a keeper-sized red rock crab. He was just barely hanging on to that trap. Nice hard shell on him. Look at those big claws. That might actually be the biggest red rock crab I've ever caught. Yeah, I know he's not that big, but he's about 6 inches across the shell probably. Got a really long shell. You do find bigger red rock crabs in the Puget Sound generally than in like Westport Harbor where I'm used to crabbing. That is really nice for my first trap pull. There's a crab here. All right, already got 1 crab. That's amazing. That's already 1 more crab than I expected.
Oh, you got one. I was right.
Oh, he came off. Ah.
You got away.
Damn, I kept the tension on there. That was another keeper. Let's get back out there and snag him. Snare let us down. Second trap. See what we got. Ooh, that doesn't feel empty. Oh, but it is. Just heavier with seaweed. won't stay crabbing as long as we usually do. This is just a fun little detour. Especially after catching all those clams, it's not like we need the meat. But I'm still very excited to see if we can't catch ourselves one or two more. Feels too light. Yep, nothing on that one. All right, see if we got any luck with this one. There's a crab in there. I see it. Well, how about that? He's only got one claw though. Missing a leg too. What do you think? Should we send him back, let him regrow? He's definitely keeper size, but he's not that big. Ooh, he almost got me. Yeah, let's set him free. I'm not gonna throw him. I'm just gonna let him go. Go on. No, you live in the water. Go back toward the water. Be free, little crab. Ooh, $1. Ha! I've already made money on this trip. The bounties of the sea. Oh my goodness, look at this. If you guys know what this is, please let me know, because I'm dying to know. I love this place. There's so much sea life here, it's amazing. No. Bunch of nothing. Time to check the traps. What do you think? Think we got a crab? 3 pulls in a row? Ah, there's a crab. I see him. He's holding on. He's not even in the trap.
Get him.
Ah! He's got big claws. Ooh, he's trying to get me. That is a mean red rock crab. He is ready to fight. Look at that. All right. Into the bucket. One more crab. Ooh, that tide is coming in fast. One more toss. That doesn't feel light. Oh, and another crab that let go. He fell out. So far, every crab we've seen, at least every crab that's grabbed one of our traps or snares, is keeper size. So if you're just learning to fish, or you're interested in trying shellfishing for the first time, Fort Flagler is an amazing place to try. I am still blown away that I caught 5 different species of clams today with really minimal effort. But the next level is going to be the final boss. We're 2 for 2 so far. We got our clams, we got our crabs, but can we catch a fish? Stay tuned and find out. I think I see 1, 2. Come on, get out of there. Yeah, I know, you don't want to go. I don't want to go either. All right, what do you think, guys? Are we keeping 2 crippled crabs? Or should we let the birthday girl decide?
I'll clean them up and make something with them.
You wanna?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 halves make a whole.
2 halves make a whole. 4 crabs. That's amazing. Whew. All right. We have so much food already. Let's go see if we can catch some fish too. We might visit another battery on the way. Let's see. Get back to the car, get these crabs on ice, move on to the next stage of our adventure. As you can see, we're just right behind the playground, right next to the parking lot. Very accessible. Don't have to go far to access some rock crabs off the shore here. On our way back over to Marrowstone Point, Battery Bankhead's right on the road, or right next to the road. So I figured we'd stop here, give you guys a brief tour because it's one of the coolest batteries, if not the coolest battery at Fort Flagler. They sure don't make them like they used to. That craftsmanship. So here they're just storerooms. So this battery is cool in that it's made very symmetrically. So this side of the battery looks the exact same as the other side. And on each side, they had mounted 4 12-inch mortar cannons and these big round spots here. That might not sound very big, but that is huge. Think about it, 12-inch projectile fired from massive cannons here that had a multi-mile range. So they use these giant, super heavy-duty, thick rungs to anchor those mortar cannons down. So when they fired, they'd stay in place. Construction on this battery started in 1901, and I believe it was completed in 1902. Construction cost was over $89,000, which back in those days is actually quite a bit. So in here, you can see where they had rails mounted on the ceiling. So they actually had the mortar shells just hanging from the ceiling on rails so that you could slide them down the rails easily. And that way the military men could access them and move them and use them as needed. So what do you think, guys? Do we walk down the dark tunnel? It's pretty dark. Oh, there we go. Now you can see some rails that are still here. I wonder just how many mortar shells they could keep in this room. Ooh, another room. No rails in here. And then on to the other side. I can only imagine just how many mortar shells they could keep stored in here. And there we go. That's what most of the internal structure consists of at this battery, is just storage for 12-inch mortar shells. So that was fun, but we have some fish to try to catch. So let's go back to Marrowstone Point and check that out. All right, here we go. We're at Marrowstone Point. I hear this is a good spot to go for some salmon because it's right on the point of the island where the Admiralty Inlet starts. So all of the salmon that are migrating down through the inlet have to swim around this point. All right, here we go. We're close to the point here. This should be a brilliant spot. And we're just right next to where we parked the car. We just went all the way to the end of the point to the smaller parking lot. Now this is where we're probably gonna get skunked. So as for gear, I'm using an 8-foot Cast King Recon rod. It's medium heavy with fast action. Using a matching Cast King Recon 3000 size reel. And I'm using 25-pound test braid with a 20-pound leader on here. And leader's about 2.5, 3 feet long. I got my buzz bomb there with a little like salmon egg mimicking bead, and that's protecting my line on my hook from the buzz bomb beating on it constantly. So this way, you use like a twitch action when you're going for salmon generally with a buzz bomb. That way it mimics a bait fish that's fluttering through the water, and the buzz bomb slides up the whole length of your leader while you're doing that and down. So that if you don't have something to protect your line on your hook from your buzz bomb, it's just gonna slowly chip away at it and weaken it. Right now, we're leading up to high tide. It's almost high tide now. It's probably the best time that you could have, or the best time of the day to be going for salmon here, because the high tide is pushing the coho that are migrating through closer to shore.
No skunk.
No skunk. All right, we're gonna put this little guy back. Bigger than the harbor sculpins at least. There you go. Wrong way. We figured, since we're gonna be fishing here on the shoreline anyway, and we were catching crab on the other shoreline, may as well throw a trap in and see what happens. That looks like a little something. Another sculpin?
Another sculpin.
Another sculpin. The wife is powerful with her fishing. I need to poop. I just pooped. More sculpin. At least they're bigger than the ones you find in Westport Harbor.
Yay, and I got to keep my bait. Throw them back.
They're weirdos. Good little sculpin. She's too nice. I wanted more bait. Yep, I see a crab. Oh, now he's all covered in sand. I gotta clean him off. Whew. It's nice how clean the crabs are here compared to catching them in the harbor. They got all muddy and scuzzy, but here their shells are nice and clean. That's a good sized rock crab. Add him to the crab collection.
Do you want to head home?
I think it might be about time to head home. I don't see anybody catching salmon here. I've had my fill. We have a ton of food we caught. I'm still so hyped on how many clams we caught. 5 different species of clams. Like, oh my God, that was amazing. Okay, so we're gonna go home. It's kind of late, so we're just gonna soak our clams, clean them up, and get them ready to cook something with them tomorrow morning. And we'll probably get our crabs cooked up tonight because we don't like keeping them overnight just in case they die. And we'll make something with them in the morning too. It's gonna be awesome. I had so much fun here. I can't wait to get these guys cooked up and make something awesome with them. So stay tuned and see what we cook. So many deer here, and they are not afraid of you. We made it home. Welcome to the official Weathered Pantry outdoor kitchen. I may have bit off more than I could chew with these clams. Look at all that. That's close to 20 pounds, or probably about 20 pounds of butter clams and horseneck clams. And then these are our eastern softshell clams, littleneck clams, and our couple of cockles that we got. We're gonna put as much of these guys as we can into chowder. We're gonna be doing this in our giant wok because it is going to be a giant chowder. Let's get going here. Let's get cooking and cutting. We're gonna have way more chowder than we can eat in a reasonable period of time. So my wife is going to be vacuum sealing up the leftovers into portion bags so that we have chowder whenever we want. First, we've gotta cut our vegetables up, get them going. This is just going to be a super simple chowder, but simple does not mean it won't be delicious. I'm just going to be dumping the vegetables into the wok as I prepare them. As per usual, there will be very liberal amounts of butter used in this recipe. That's just our style. I am a huge fan of celery. It's one of my favorite vegetables. It is a sleeper vegetable in my opinion. People don't give it enough credit for just how yummy it is. And we're just going to chop up the entirety of these. As usual, the chickens are very unruly, especially in the morning. Will not be shy with our garlic usage. I am still blown away by how many different kinds of clams we caught. So many kinds of clams that I've never caught before, nor prepared before, so this is an absolute adventure for me. Luckily, I do have a lot of experience cleaning razor clams. I've cleaned thousands of razor clams. So, I mean, clams are clams. How different could they be? There we go. This seems like very fresh, juicy, crunchy corn. Here you go, chickens. As you can see by how dead and dry my grass is, it's been a very dry summer. So we won't be using the wood stove today, just for fire safety. But I've got enough little gas burners to go around, plus the wok, of course. We've got some parsley, marjoram, and rosemary. I didn't have the time to pick some thyme. Definitely don't be afraid to be liberal with your herb usage. Add a beautiful depth of flavor to chowder. And of course, you can use dry herbs if you don't have fresh herbs. Now for the intimidating part. We gotta clean our clams up. So clams are clams. They're pretty straightforward. They've got necks, they've got mantles, they've got diggers, and those are generally the edible parts, and you always want to trim off the bellies and the guts. And horseneck clams have an added little layer where they have a piece of skin that goes over their necks that you have to peel off after blanching them. So we'll take care of that after, of course. Let's try a smaller horse clam first. Down, through. So we're trying to slice their adductor muscles so that you can open that shell up. I'm using a semi-flexible boning knife. It's nice and sharp and will bend with the shell a little bit to make it easier to get up in there. There we go. There we go. A little more of the mantle meat on the shell than I would like there, but it is my first horse clam, so I won't judge myself too harshly. This is the digger here. You can actually cut off. That's good meat there. None of the guts or the meat that we might leave on the guts are going to be going to waste. We're going to save it for crab bait. Clams and clam guts make amazing crab bait. So there we go. We've got the neck and the mantle there. And we're going to give all that another rinse. Oh, and then there's the piece of the digger. So that's all the usable meat on that guy. The adductor muscles are like little scallops too. You definitely want to salvage as much of those as you can. They are often the tastiest bit of a clam. I may not have time to process all of these clams today because I have to go to work in a couple of hours. So any butter clams or horse clams I don't get to, my wife is going to process later, and she might make some stuffed clams out of them. Despite not achieving either of our limits, well, like we achieved like one person's limit, but nowhere near both our limits. We have just a ridiculous amount of food here. I saved the biggest for last. The size actually makes it easier. There's a big adductor muscle right there to slice through. There we go. There we go. All right, that's it for the horse clams. All right, next we're gonna move on to our butter clams, and we're just gonna be doing much the same with them. It's beautiful. They've got a different color, vibrant. Adductor muscles are very pink in color. There we go. Yeah, look at that. It's a nice big chunk of meat. They've got more mantle meat as well. All right. So as far as the siphon goes on these guys, we're not going to be peeling the skin, so we can finish their siphon prep here so that you can clean all the sand out. It's like razor clam, so you have to slice both of their siphon chutes open so you can clean all the sand out. End of the digger is good meat as well. I'm excited to see how these clam guts do for bait. I'm gonna go clean up our clams that we have processed here, and we will continue this process of getting to the chowder. All right, it's time to blanch our horseneck clam siphons and get that layer of skin off. About 20 seconds in very hot but not quite boiling water. And then right into cold water. Excuse my Christmas gingerbread tongs. We were married on Christmas, and my wife collects Christmas stuff because we love Christmas. Right in the ice cold water so that you're not overcooking them. These parts can become very, very tough to chew. The water that I use to blanch those with, I'm just gonna use that pot and water to steam our clams. Very excited to try cockles. Pop that lid over them. All right, now let's see if we can get this skin off. Yep, it is coming. There you go, chickens. All right, there is one beautiful, fully prepared horseneck clam siphon. Oh wow, look at those clams. Interesting that the cockles cooked faster than the littleneck clams. The chickens have learned that when we're out here, it's food time. They are happy to eat all our scraps. I'm really interested to see what this is like. I've never tried a cockle. A little bit of stuff left in there. Shouldn't be much left in there though. It had overnight soak. But it's kind of crunchy, which is interesting. Really not bad. There we go. Butter melted in there. There we go. So we pre-cooked these so that they would not need to really cook long in the chowder. So once you're cooking chowder, it's really a pretty quick process. You don't want to scorch the cream, and you don't want to overcook clams. So we order all of our dairy products from Smith Brothers Farms. Highly recommended, great service. But we are making such a big chowder, we don't have enough heavy cream, so we're going to have to supplement a bit with milk and use some flour and butter to thicken it up like cream. Butter mixture in. I'll give that a good stir to make sure it's not all chunky. While the chowder's finishing doing its thing, we are just going to chop our clams up. So the horse clams we're gonna chop up nice and small. If you're so inclined, you can even grind them up or mince them up very small. You might even be able to put them in a food processor. I'm just gonna try to cut them up into 1/4 to 1/2 inch little dices. Really, it's amazing how much meat was yielded from this. Even though we're not using even half of the butter clams we caught. I'm just gonna try one little bite of the raw horse clam. Oh wow, it's actually quite tender. All right, in we go. I'm excited. I'm very excited to try this. No clam chowder is complete without some clam juice. All right, we're gonna add some salt and pepper. I'm a salty guy. That was probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons of salt total there. But remember, this is a 2-gallon recipe of chowder here. Oh, that's perfect. All right, that is ready. Let's eat. Oh, I'm excited for this. All right, let's get ourselves some chowder. Oh, it smells so good. Beautiful colors too. Let's get ourselves a couple of steamed clams here. There we go. All right, grab a little bit of bread. We got this bread from the little store in Nordland, right next to Fort Flagler. It is so good, and that store is so cute. I highly recommend checking it out if you ever go that way. First, let's try a little bite of crab while our chowder cools off. Oh, that is completely packed with meat. Look at that. All right, let's try this. Oh my God. Let's see how the chowder's doing. Need some good meat in there. Oh, that is so good. All right, I've got to try my steamed clam. Let's try this littleneck clam out. Oh, that is so good. That is some of the best bread I've ever tried. Like, wow. And the chowder just goes perfect with it. This was so good. I've got to share the rest of this with my family. I'll finish eating it with them. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had such an amazing time at Fort Flagler. I cannot believe how many clams, how many different kinds of clams we caught, and how good they are. This is amazing. This has like opened up a whole new world of shell fishing awesomeness to me, and I am so happy that you guys could join me for it. So if you guys had a good time too, don't forget to click like for the video and subscribe if you want to come back for more. I hope to see you next time, because we're just going to keep going on fishing adventures together, and we're going to be cooking up our catches, and it's going to be awesome. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Have a great day. This, we got a little horse clam neck right at the surface here. Oh! No way. Right in the face.